We're going to turn now to the race for president and our exclusive interview with Hillary Clinton's newest challenger. Former Maryland Governor Martin OMalley kicked off his campaign for president this weekend with a direct shot at Clinton and Jeb Bush for their ties to Wall Street. Take a look.
The CEO of Goldman Sachs let his employees know that he'd be just fine with either Bush or Clinton. I bet he would. Well, I've got news for the bullies of Wall Street. The presidency is not a crown to be passed back and forth by you between two royal families.
And Governor OMalley joins us now. Thanks for joining us. So Bush and Clinton are birds of a feather?
Well, this is what I believe, George. I believe that the presidency is a sacred trust, and I believe that we are best served by giving the choice of who our president should be to the people of the United States and not to the big banks on Wall Street.
And you think they have that choice right now?
I believe that when the CEO of Goldman Sachs says he'd be just fine with either Bush or Clinton, that should be a wake-up call for all of us, because we still haven't delivered on the promise of reining in excesses on Wall Street, and our entire economy is still vulnerable to that.
I know you called Secretary Clinton right before you announced. Did you tell her this was coming, and how did she respond?
Well, I told her that we were going to have a robust discussion about the issues that face our country. How do we make the American dream real again for more families, not only in terms of investing in our country again, but reining in the sort of excesses that led to millions of people losing their homes and people losing their jobs. We still haven't delivered on that promise as a party, and we need to.
You know, President Obama's former close advisor, David Axelrod, tweeted after you got in the race. He said, OMalley is a dynamic, accomplished guy, but he was all in for Hillary in 2008. So isn't it a bit awkward to rail against royal families now? How do you respond to that?
Well, I was for Secretary Clinton in 2008, and she and I both worked hard to elect the president and to re-elect the president. But times change, and different challenges require new leadership.
So did you change or did she change?
I believe the times changed, George. Here's the big intervening factor that happened between 2008 and now. That is the crash that was precipitated by reckless behavior on Wall Street that caused millions of Americans to lose their jobs and cratered our economy. And now people are earning less than they were. 70% of us are earning less now as Americans than we were before the crash. We still have work to do. And in order to solve these problems and overcome these challenges, I believe we need new leadership. And most importantly, that's the phrase I've heard from people all over the country. They say we need to get things done again, and we need new leaders.
You know, the Wall Street Journal took aim at your own record today in an editorial. As governor of Maryland, they say you have a record of tax hikes and slow economic growth as governor.
Well, actually, I also have a record of a AAA bond rating, the best public schools in America 5 years in a row, and the highest median income of any state in America, and a better rate of job creation than our neighbors to the north and to the south of us. And the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, which, as you know, hardly ever says nice things about Democratic elected officials anywhere, named our state #1 for innovation and entrepreneurship 3 years in a row. I'm a progressive leader, and I also get things done, and that's what 15 years of executive experience brings to the table.
Finally, a lot of Americans may not know you play in a rock and roll band. You also had played a little guitar, Hail to the Chief, as you were at a video right before you announced. Are we going to see that guitar? There it is. Are we going to see that more on the campaign trail?
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, when I go through Iowa and New Hampshire, the guitar seems to fall out of the rafters from someplace. So I enjoy music, and I'm looking forward to connecting with people throughout our country about the better future we want for our kids.
Governor, thanks for coming on this morning.
Thank you, George.